Little Chef? Maybe Little Chef?
Hi, I'm John, no H, and apparently I married a honey badger.
And I'm John, 4 times world ranking snooker champion.
And I'm not John, and I recently purchased a Nokia mobile phone. And let me tell you, smartphones are overrated. This thing is fantastic. It cost me £11. Welcome to Would John Rather. This is a podcast where I ask 2 people called John, one with an H, would they rather questions, and with no preparation, they attempt to answer them occasionally. So, as usual, we'll dive straight in. So before I ask the question, I need you to collectively agree on a fast food restaurant for me.
Look, I think we can all agree, Little Chef.
Yeah, I'll go for that.
Okay, well, that's not fast food, but we'll go with it anyway. Okay, so the question is, John, you sound really excited about Little Chef. The question is, would you rather only be able to eat at Little Chef for the rest of your life, or everything that you ever eat is never quite right?
Isn't that the same thing if you only ever eat at Little Chef?
Oh, controversial.
That's fine. The only 3 chains that are open probably aren't going to listen to this. I feel brave.
Very brave.
We just lost our big sponsorship deal.
That's fine. I heard Wimpy are throwing out money these days.
Oh, we should have gone with Wimpy. Wimpy's so much better than Little Chef.
But then I couldn't have made my joke, so
Fair point.
there's that.
But yes, you can only eat at Little Chef, or everything you eat's not quite right. But you can eat whatever you want like you can in real life.
I would definitely go with just eating at Little Chef because, you know, one of the best places to be at any given time is in a lay-by at the side of the road. And that's because that's where...
Is that because you hate driving?
No, but if you're in a lay-by, then you're on a long journey, you must be going somewhere interesting, maybe. Generally, if I'm in a car going somewhere new and interesting, or going towards something that's exciting, because otherwise I wouldn't bother stopping in the lay-by. So that excitement when you're having that meal, just trying to scoff it down. We've got to get back on the road, we've got to get Devon.
So you politely ignore how indifferent the chef was when he made your food.
And also, just to call you out, you said new and exciting, and then said Devon.
Devon was new and exciting once.
So was Little Chef.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Devon, so it's no longer new. But you know, the time that we stopped in Little Chef on the way to Devon, that was one of the best moments of my life. Had so much
One time, a Little
to look
Chef.
forward to.
Once again, your ambition astounds me, John.
Well, you know, you could be going to a lot of places, but they've all got to be in the UK because I don't think Little Chef is an international brand.
I think in France it's called La Petite Jambon.
Jambon is ham, you tool.
Well, I didn't know chef, so I went with whatever I could think of.
I thought chef was a French word.
Le petit pois.
Small peas.
No, it's just peas. Petit pois is peas.
Oh. Ah.
Welcome to the Would John Rather French Grammar Podcast.
Bonjour, où est la piscine?
Ah, je m'appelle Petit Chien. Je déteste le dentifrice.
Nous avons une réservation pour ce soir.
I'd much prefer to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And it'd be slightly off in... Are we talking like off as in out of date, or like someone's
No,
like used paprika on cornflakes?
No, not even to that extent. Just, you like your steak medium rare, it comes out medium well. There's not enough salt in your chili con carne, so it doesn't quite feel right, or not enough spice in your chili con carne, so it's not quite right. I've really talked myself into a corner there. Or there's minimal sauce and cheese on the nachos. Like, it's not a satisfactory meal. You know that basically every time you have a McDonald's, or, okay, basically, like you said, every time you have a Little Chef, it sustains you, but it's not quite hitting the mark.
After like the last 6 weeks of hotel living and being in like a affordable eatery, that's what every meal became. So I don't know how I'm going to fight this. I'm going to have to go with Chinese. You become quite accustomed to your own Chinese down the road, and you know how good their like crispy chili beef or their chicken satay skewers are, and you really like it. And if you don't, you might go to a different Chinese across the other side of town. But you become accustomed to that, and you really enjoy it, and that is your Chinese. And then you go on holiday, you go to like a holiday cottage somewhere, and you're like, oh, there's a Chinese. Let's get one from there. It's never that bad, but it's just not your Chinese, is it? I could deal with that.
It might taste better than your Chinese, but it's not your Chinese. But I would throw the curveball that if you're getting accustomed to it, then that would be what you're expecting, which would then mean it would change each time, so it's not quite right. Or just as you were getting used to it, it would change again slightly. You know, like how some takeaways are hit or miss. You go, I remember this place, we ordered from it before and they did this last time. Or you finally get used to it and then all of a sudden they change the branding like they do on takeaways. It suddenly becomes a different name with a different owner, even though it's the same place. And you go, oh, it'd be exactly the same, and it's not.
I was going to try and go down the line of Chinese are good, curries are good. It doesn't matter where you go. If it's not what you're used to, normally it's still good, unless it's just god awful. Unless it's just absolutely terrible. It's normally very good. I think people are only disappointed because it's not what they're used to. So I was going to say I could deal with that, because you roll the dice and it's different every time. Because you're not going to be like constantly disappointed there's not enough salt. You're not going to be constantly disappointed there's too much gravy to meat ratio. There'll be something different every time. So they do say variety is the spice of life, even though in this circumstance I might not have enough of the spice that I want, or too much, and that'll be very spicy. I could deal with that, because if you go to Little Chef, you're not going to get Indians, you're not going to get Chinese, you're not going to get my newfound favourite of Mexican food. And apart from the Olympic breakfast, what can you tell me does Little Chef offer?
Are you, before you speak, sorry, John, are you, I mean, I'm not asking to take the piss, I'm genuinely impressed if this is what you mean, and I shouldn't have told you that bit because now you'll agree even if not, but are you basically saying that you think that over time you would evolve to be prepared to be let down by your food, that you wouldn't notice you were being let down?
Yeah, because, I do not have a Michelin star. I'm not the best cook in the world, and when I make things, it's slightly different each time. I've never got to the point like with the stir fry that I go, everything is perfect, and then I replicate it week in, week out. It's always a little bit different. There's always like, oh well, last week actually the sauce was a little bit thicker, it coated the sugar snap peas better. And then there was another time where I'm like, oh yeah, all this is spot on, apart from my carrots are a little bit too raw. There's always been times that I've cooked and I've gone, I've done this better, but then I've done another thing and I've gone, well, I've done this better now, but when I thought I did it better, it's not quite. So if there's no consistency, then there's no being comfortable. There's no sitting in the rut that you're in going, yes, everything's wonderful, everything's lovely in my Little Chef. I've got my table by the window. I've got my Olympic breakfast. I've got my hash browns the way I like them, which is probably soggy, because I'm gonna fight my corner by discrediting Little Chef's frying skills and just accepting that it may not be the same, but that's the challenge. It's trying to figure out why it's different and why it's better, why it's worse.
Sorry, John. Just genuinely a very interesting and very nice way of putting it. You would adapt and you would evolve to meet whatever life throws at you, basically dealing the hands that you're dealt. And because of that, I'm not even going to allow John to argue it, because I just don't think he can win. A, because he picked Little Chef, but also B, I just think I genuinely found that a very interesting and just insightful answer, and I just don't think there's any point in carrying on with this, so I think we should move swiftly on.
Well, anyway, as I was saying,
Judge
good
rules.
Little Chef.
Judge rules. John wins. Little Chef.
Thank you.
Loses.
Well, can I just say what I was going to say anyway?
No.
Fine.
So that's never happened before, and yeah, I was genuinely surprised. So I'm giving out my first gold star onward, John, rather, to John. So yeah, that was very bit too emotional for what was meant to be a comedy podcast. Actually, I felt like I was being therapized, which isn't a word.
So have I just got the Britain's Got Talent golden buzzer?
Yeah.
Yes. Lowest common denominator Saturday Night TV reference for the win.
I cannot wait to finish this recording for John to tell me how angry he is that he didn't get to say anything about Little Chef. So, as always, if you'd like to share your anger that John didn't get to tell us about Little Chef, or appreciation, whichever it may be, you can tweet at us at WoodJRather. We're available to listen to at woodjrather.buzzsprout.com, or you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, or TuneIn. We're still waiting to hear back from Spotify. And I believe you've both got Twitters as well.
We do. Mine is John Would Rather, so I'm John with no H, it's just Jon, because I'm really a Jonathan, but that's way too pretentious of middle class, so just Jon Would Rather is my Twitter handle.
And I've got a Twitter, and it's John Would Rather, but I'm not going to tell you how to spell it, because I don't really want you to follow me at all.
And if this is the first time listening, it's not because he's grumpy about the question. He does this every week. It's becoming a bit. So, yeah, we'll just move past that. Just because I've had a few people asking me whether we edit this show or we do edit. It's heavily edited. And yet, surprisingly...
Every episode is 6 hours of and pauses.
I know it's surprising, but the bits that we leave in are the best bits that I can manage to piece together. So, just for anybody that was curious... Yeah, it's heavily edited. I can't see my carpet anymore for all of the edits on the cutting room floor. So, shall we move into question 2?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Well, seeing as this is episode 10, so I'm very excited. Made it to 10 episodes. Got a very special question lined up for you. Would you rather be a ninja or a pilot?
Pilot, because you earn more money. I don't really know what the going rate for ninjas is these days, but I know that if you're a commercial pilot, you can get paid a fairly handsome chunk.
I was just going to say there's more to life than money, and what that is being able to chop through 30 pieces of wood with your head. That is what life is about. Being able to do that, put it on YouTube, and get 10 million views.
Is that a ninja?
You're still angry that it's not pirate. Your secret is seething, knowing that not John has taken one of your favourite occupations off of the plate of the standard would you rather questions.
Well, I know that we're both partial to pirates, and I think he probably knew that as well, which is why not John took away the ninja option.
I'm going to be honest, for over a week, that question was written down as ninja or Pilates coach, and then literally 2 hours ago I went, Pilates coach, why didn't I just fucking write pilot? Yeah, just to give you a bit of behind the scenes.
So now you're going to edit that out, so we were going to laugh at you and you were going to save face by not actually putting it in the episode.
But yeah, no, I was going to say, I don't think ninjas are the ones that cut through like loads of woods. That's more like karate and kung fu. Ninjas sneak around and assassinate people.
Yeah, but they also are armed in the ways of
ninjutsu.
All the martial arts.
All of the martial arts.
I mean, they're all the martial arts, including samurai swords and things like that. But, I mean, one of the main reasons that you want to be...
all the martial arts, including swords and that.
One of the main reasons that you'd want to be a pilot is presumably because you like travelling and going places. But one place that you could never go is
the moon.
12th to 15th century Japan, because that's where ninjas come from, right? And you just will never get that opportunity as a pilot, whereas because planes didn't even exist back then.
Are you a time travelling ninja,
okay.
Or you're saying you'd like to be a ninja in the 14th century or 15th century?
I'm a contemporary ninja from the time when ninjas were prevalent in society.
And are you living in that century as well, or are you a 15th century ninja living in 21st century Britain? And if so, I think we're going to get a movie deal.
I actually, when I first said it, I was thinking the former, but you're right. The latter has much better movie creating potential. You know, it'd be like Crocodile Dundee goes to New York, you know, fish out of water type thing, but bigger because it's a ninja and he can do crazy tricks, backflips, and then chop people's heads off.
Yeah, I like it.
His sword.
Well,
It'd be very much like the Assassin's Creed film, just good.
He goes into a department shop and then he slices their heads off.
Oh, so he's evil.
No, he's just annoyed with the department store for not letting him return his robes because they didn't fit properly.
We could do like Demolition Man. There could be the evil ninja, so they unfreeze the good ninja to take down the evil ninja because he's the only one that can do it.
Yeah.
And we could get.
He's going to say he's quite misunderstood, and he falls in love with an author who lives in downtown flat that's only got one bedroom, which
obviously leads to sexy times and shenanigans.
But she teaches him that
how to love.
Yeah, she teaches him how to love and not cut people's head off when they have offended his honour.
Okay.
So if we're going to go down the movie route, ninjas, yeah, very cool, bit niche. You couldn't have the following films that are pilot: Snakes on a Plane, Die Hard, Sully, Flight, Airplane, Airplane 2, just to name a few.
I'm going to, because you won a gold star today, John. I'm going to give you one more chance, because if you hadn't won that gold star, I would be announcing you a loser because you didn't start that with Top Gun. You're in the danger zone, so just be careful.
He's dead, Jim. Sorry, that was a pirate reference. I thought we were doing a different show.
Yeah, my apologies. I was trying to look more laterally at a commercial airline pilot because there's no way I could be a Top Gun fire race, and there's definitely not a way I could be an American Top Gun fire race because I'm not full of myself enough. So that's a little bit boring compared to running across walls and stuff. Get a degree. There's a lot of pilots out there that take off, get to altitude, smash the cruise control on, and then pull out a nice book. And so once my flying days are over, I'd be a more well-rounded individual with degrees coming out my ears and a nice long pension funding me all the way to Aruba, where I could drink cocktails and do whatever I wanted. So I'd be worried as a ninja where my next meal was coming from, because I don't know where to go and trump up business. Do you hand out business cards to strangers and go, hey, if you need someone's face ripping off, I'm your guy? Whereas if you had a pilot's license, you go to almost any airport and go, you need me to fly that for you? And they'll be like, you're in.
Do you know
lots of money?
what ninjas have for tea? Speaking of where their next meal is coming from, do you know what they ninja bread men?
Oh, he's got you there.
Okay, as a 13th century ancient Japanese person, you have no idea about the delights and wonders of Central European baked goods, so you don't get any. You're starving.
No, but there's that scene, isn't there, in the film where he first meets the author and he doesn't know what a gingerbread man is, and she explains it to him and she snaps off its head and he goes, oh, I like that bit. And then he buys loads of gingerbread men and snaps off their heads and limbs. And then he realises you can eat them as well. And it's that really romantic scene where she first realises that, you know what, maybe I can turn this 13th century ninja barbarian into the man of my dreams. Do you know what
They do a Lady and the Tramp moment with a gingerbread man.
Yeah, but tasteful. That scene from Lady and the Tramp was a bit tarty, really. She just met him.
Right, and this author has just met this 13th century ancient Japanese guy who doesn't speak a word of English and yet convinces him that loving and not fighting is the way forward. Whereas if we're going to go back to the Top Gun thing, how many brilliant quotes came from that film? And there's a man openly cries about losing his best mate and is consoled by the lady who should be telling him off and telling him he's only human. He could do better and he can be the best if he puts his mind to it, and she'll be there and support him.
I mean, I'm confused what films we're comparing, because we started off comparing Lady and the Tramp to Ninjas in Paris, and now we're talking about Top Gun.
Because Ninjas in Paris is a film that you've just made up with John right now. So it's 2 against 1. I'm fighting a losing battle because you can just say, oh yeah, but being a pirate isn't called being a ninja, because in this scene that we're talking about, just made up.
Well, I just think they're incomparable, because I've not seen Ninjas in Paris yet, so...
That's because it's a fictional thing you've just made up.
Hey, nobody knows how much in advance we record these podcasts. It might be out by the time this goes out. In cinemas this Friday. Oh, I wish we had a voiceover guy that could do a pretend trailer for us. Come on, you two duke it out. I'm very much on the fence.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm an impartial judge.
You've just announced yourself as a producer for this film.
So I'm still impartial. Yeah, we're not talking about the films though. We're just talking about pilots or ninjas, which it would be better to be. Those were just side conversations that we were having for a bit of fun, John. Don't turn all sassy now that you've won a gold star.
Imagine it's the turn of the century. It's 1905.
Okay.
And you are one of the Wright brothers. And you're the first person to deviate. You are the first person ever to fly a powered flying machine. And the whole world has caught like a madness, an absolute fever for aviation. And all the rich boys that have got too much money and a lot of time on their hands, they're going to make fantastic flying machines as well. And it's a golden age of aviation. Just think how far we've come in the last 100 years. There was a man that had some plywood and some canvas and a modified truck engine, flew him 120 foot, and now we've got aircraft that fly 3 times the speed of sound. The golden age of evolution of aviation was those early days. It was those early pioneers, them and their marvelous flying machines.
Did you just say evolution?
I want you to picture a new scene. It's 1994. And the Teenage fucking Ninja Turtles are on TV. Come on.
Oh.
DuckTales.
Oh, it's heating up here.
I wasn't a massive fan of Ninja Turtles, but I was a massive fan of Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds kicked ass. All of the guys had flying machines apart from Gordon, who had a submarine. But you could argue with a submarine, because it moves in 3 dimensions, it's like a plane for underwater. So all of those lads, they were massively skilled pilots. And they were puppets, not interpretive dancers in green suits.
Yeah, you know what? I see your point, and I was just playing out a little role play in my head, and I think it's clear.
Anyway, the Ninja Turtles aren't even human. They can't get passports. And even if they did get passports, with the weapons, there'd be a flight risk, so they wouldn't be allowed on the flight themselves. And even if they did give up their weapons and got on an aircraft, they definitely wouldn't be flying it. Their fingers are way too big to operate any of the controls.
I mean, they're turtles, so they'd probably swim.
Yep, and they'd bring pizza to the party. Every party without pizza is not worth going to.
I mean, when you think about it, a cheeseburger with tomato relish is just a pizza in a different order with different ratios.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think at the end of this all, I think Matt wins with his burger and pizza the same thing. I think you've won that argument there.
I've won my argument with my own mind.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Thank you. Well, I've been listening to everything that you've both said, and it has been a close one. I think because we discussed quite a lot about pilots and ninjas, and I'm disappointed that neither one of you kicked off that I didn't keep it as pirates, but I felt that was too easy. And while I think that ninjas have the potential to be more interesting, I just don't think that they've quite hit the mark yet. They could do so much more. As we've discussed, there's so much potential for so many more movie deals and TV shows, but when you actually get down to it and you think about all of the TV shows and movies that we've had because of flying, the first Final Destination, Top Gun, the cartoons, even something like Bucky O'Hare, that was in space. Star Wars, you wouldn't be able to have Star Wars without a pilot. And there's just not that much going on with ninjas that I think the potential's there.
That you can see. I
have to go with the evidence that I have. There could potentially be a ninja in every film. But I think we could revisit this question in a few years when we've got a screenplay written and we've, got some backers and ninjas come back into fashion. But I think for today, 2018, it's going to have to be pilots are the winner.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to close my argument with a great gratitude and graceful speech. But we all know the greatest rock and roll band on the planet right now is the Foo Fighters. And they have not written a song about wanting to be a ninja. They wrote a song called Learn to Fly. If the greatest rock stars on the planet say they want to be something else, they said they want to be pilots. That's pretty cool.
Did they say they want to be pilots, or did they just say they wanted to learn to fly?
Well, learning to fly is becoming a pilot.
Not if you're a bird.
Are you a driver if you drive your car?
Yeah, but I don't have...
There we go.
But you can't drive without a car. You can fly without a plane.
No, it's called Flying with Style.
Anyway, so that's a blanket win. 2 points to John, no points to John. As confusing as that is, I'm sure you were following, because someone has to. So have you got
Team John.
Team John.
Hashtag Team John. No H.
Get trending this week. Hashtag John was robbed. This time with an H. So have you got a question for me as per, or?
I have a question for you this week. And the question is...
Can I ask, has it changed slightly since it looks like I've victimised you heavily this week?
No. Would you rather live on a remote island with water surrounding you 1,000 miles in any direction, or in a desert with sand 1,000 miles in any direction? You would be in sort of an oasis in the desert. You've got somewhere to live. You've got in either case, you've got some sort of hut or something to live in, so you can actually live. You're just
to specify, when you say any direction, do you mean every direction?
Yeah.
Okay, because any direction.
No, because every direction means you've got 1,000 miles of sand on top of your head.
In every horizontal plane, then. Well, any direction could be I've got 1,000 miles of ocean to my west, but actually it's a 100-metre swim to France off this island. So that's why I was checking. I didn't know if there was a loophole.
I mean in any direction that you could choose, there would be 1,000 miles of water or 1,000 miles of sandy desert.
Can I ask how big the island is?
Big enough.
I mean, the same sort of size as your living. I mean, the living quarters it doesn't really matter for the question actually, because they're both would be the same size. The desert oasis would be the same size as whatever size island you were on.
Right. Okay.
Not huge, not tiny. You know, you're not enclosed into 30 square meter. You know, you don't have
smaller than kind of
to go off in.
Smaller than like a mile, but bigger than a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just, we live on an island here in Britain, so I could have done with that. But that'd be okay. Actually, that'd probably be quite dwarfing, an island that big. But I was thinking maybe Lost Island. But yeah, I'll go with islands. I think first of all, there'd be more to do leisure-wise. I could go swimming. I could go fishing. I could
build sandcastles.
Well, you could do that in the desert. One thing deserts aren't short of is sand. I could. Well, I guess in the desert I can make my own. No, I couldn't make a golf course in the desert because it'd all be bunker. I'd constantly be in bunker.
You'd get very good at the golf.
I'd get
getting out of difficult holes.
Yeah, if I ever got found, I'd be the only PGA World Champion who explicitly aimed just for the bunkers. Yeah,
he's coming out onto the 17th hole. He's only equipped with a sand wedge. We're going to see how this goes.
Yeah, leisure-wise, because I think the biggest thing, obviously you've said, provisions are satisfied, like I've got a source of water, I've got a source of foods that will sustain me over a period of time, so I don't need to worry about that side of things. So the next side of things is, keeping me healthy, so exercise. I'd get bored of walking and running around the desert, which wouldn't be that easy on the sand, whereas I could swim in the island, I could go for a jog on the island, and then it would be
going...
an
oasis, so you could swim in the lake in the middle of the oasis.
Yeah, but it'd be like doing wits. And yeah, I just think
okay.
Yeah, I just think.
I mean, you'll get.
Go on.
I was going to say you're never going to be able to try your hand at sandboarding, but okay, no, I can understand.
I could try my hand at surfboarding. Is it called surfboarding? Yeah. I always call it surfing, and I said surfboarding and went, is that a real word? Yeah, surfboarding. No, I still need clarification. Is that the word? It doesn't sound right.
I think I'd rather just let you continue to wonder.
Okay, I could try my hand at wakeboarding. I know that's a real word.
Well, no, you don't have a boat. Recently, you've been answering the questions a little too easily. So, would you rather be deserted on your island with one particularly irritating person, the kind of person who just irritating just when they breathe? Or would you rather spend eternity on your island completely alone forever?
Okay.
Still thing to add, you can draw faces on coconuts. That is completely allowed.
Okay. What gender's the person?
Annoying.
That's
They
don't
tell you because they're that annoying.
don't tell me that the gender's annoying, because if I tell you that gender annoying isn't a gender, I'm going to offend somebody who says I'm not allowed to assume their gender. So don't tempt me into that. No, you know what? I'm going to be that guy. Annoying isn't a gender.
Oh my god!
It could
You can have so many
be an
angry
agenda.
emails.
They're going to be a gender, are they, John?
Their agenda is to be annoying.
Ah, very good, very good. Well, I gave you enough time to answer, and I'm going to say that they're female, and I'm going to pick the annoying person, because I'm annoying, and people put up with me, because just because they're annoying isn't their one personality trait, and they might have many other things to offer. And if you find that person that you want to spend time with, and considering I've got no other choice but to spend time with this person, then I might grow to appreciate them. It would essentially be like an arranged marriage. And if you look at the statistics of arranged marriages versus marriages for love, arranged marriages have a much higher success rate. So I'm going to go with the annoying female, and we're going to start a family, and we're going to live happily ever after on our beautiful paradise island that millionaires and rock stars pay millions and millions of pounds for, and then have no time to visit because they have to go out and earn their millions and millions of pounds. And I'm going to live happily ever after.
But she's a mouth breather.
So am I. I have to edit out my mouth breathing every week.
Oh, you're very noisy children.
We would, but I've also got a whole island to get away from them. And if it gets too much, I can just try and swim away and try and find help, because I'm assuming I don't know that the nearest landmass is 1,000 miles away, or build a raft like they do in Lost, or like they do in Castaway, or, maybe, wow, maybe I'm on the island from Noah's Island and there's a volcano in the middle and a polar bear piloting it for me. Absolutely amazing. I've got an island that I can pilot with a wife and kids and a successful, happy family with a talking polar bear. Amazing. Sorted.
All right, Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, sorted. This life sounds better than my real life. Where do I sign?
I knew this day would happen.
Well, I thank you very much for trying to make the choice more difficult for me, but you just made the situation better. The original question, I was worried about being by myself, and all of a sudden I've got what sounds like a very good life. No 9 to 5.
Stockholm syndrome.
Eh? Why the hell not?
Sounds like
I will leave you.
Stockholm syndrome.
I will leave you with the closing statement. If one of the greatest punk pop bands in the world, Blink-182, can write a song about Stockholm Syndrome, then it can't be that bad. This has been Wood John Rather, and I've been Not John, and I'm going to get on my boat to my island.
And I've been John, and I'm going to sneak up on you and cut your head off like a samurai.
And I'm John, and I'll fly over in my air sea rescue plane and see "Too Late" written in your blood, because John is sadistic like that. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Tune in next week.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
That's very Teletubbies. It's a bit awkward.
Oh, well. it's all right. I'll even it out
Again.
I'll even it out with that. I'll even it out with the suicide bit that we cut out. Oh, and don't call me Shirley.
Somebody do it, where everybody goes, I've never know it, always know it. Not always be into it, but live life with no regrets.
The one that springs to mind for me, Little Chef. Little Chef definitely has to be up there. Why don't we just go with Little Chef? We could continue arguing about this, or we could just go with Little Chef. Look, I really think we should just go with Little Chef. Maybe Little Chef? How about Little Chef? What about Little Chef? Look, we're all just forgetting about Little Chef. Come on, guys! Little Chef! Look, it's Little Chef or nothing. I don't think I can live without Little Chef.